Yes.
I think I'm sharing. Hi. First of all, my name is Al Badirica. We are a decentralized team, just like a project. We have people in South Africa, in the US, and Australia. And then, of course, our developers are here in the Philippines. So I am the co-founder of this project, and I'm also the chief coder. So bear with me because I normally don't pitch.
Yeah,
I
you have
usually-
5 minutes.
I'm- yeah,
You have 5 minutes to start now. Thank you.
I usually write code. So we are basically solving three specific problems with the current blockchain. So first, if you look at current blockchains, they are transparent. So if you look at a business, you're not going to want to have your competitors see what you're doing on the chain. And actually, I think that was mentioned earlier today when someone mentioned they were on Polygon and they said, that you probably need to get off of that because it's not private. The second one is you need to be in the real world where there are governments. We need to make sure that we are actually regulatory compliant. And then the third one is the businesses actually also need to know who they're dealing with. So we need to have identity on the chain. So what we've done is we're building a layer one chain where we put all three things in it. So we put identity, we put compliance, and we made it private. So that's kind of what we're doing. So on the one side, we're looking at making this thing basically business ready, which is why we're talking about this. So we have these confidential apps. We have where we can run Solidity applications and stuff like that. But we also want to make sure that we're compliant. So that's what I also mentioned. To showcase the technology that we're building, we are building a wallet that we think is unique. It's a decentralized custodial wallet. So it's kind of a play on words because normally that's it's contradictory, right? So we're allowing someone to have a custodial wallet, but it's decentralized because we can actually store things. Our chain is encrypted, so we can store your seed phrase on the chain, but we can protect that seed phrase from anyone stealing it because for me to recover that seed phrase, I actually have to authenticate myself to the chain. And then I can also pick a set of partners or recovery partners, and I can say, okay, my brother is one recovery partner, Smart Communications is a recovery partner, my bank is a recovery partner. So I re-authenticate myself, and then I go to some of these people or institutions, and then I basically say, please recover my seed phrase. So once they all click go, the chain will then give me back my seed phrase, and then I can continue doing this. So that's the custodial part of this thing, but it's also decentralized. Because we also store identity, we can also transfer assets or coins or tokens in a way that you couldn't do it before. Where normally when you're actually using MetaMask, you would have to transfer, let's say, a test amount of ETH or Bitcoin. So we're basically saying, okay, I can transfer the whole amount. I don't have to send a test amount, but I can attach credentials to who I am expecting to receive this Bitcoin from, or this creds or ETH. So then the chain will bounce that transaction if it doesn't match the credentials that are stored on the chain. So we kind of coined this thing. It's grandma ready. So it's like your grandmother can use it. It's kind of like we're trying to solve that other problem of the user experience. Everyone is complaining about user experience, and because we built these three things into the chain, we know we can do this. Revenue streams, we're looking at convenience fees. If we have this wallet, we're going to build in access to decentralized exchanges. We're talking to Osmosis because we're a Cosmos-based chain. And as Thinking Active, which is the company that's building this chain right now, we're thinking we can work with financial institutions, so microfinance, banks and stuff like that. We're also looking at compliance services, and of course we have consulting services. Our path to market is through working with financial institutions. So we're trying to talk to financial institution and show them that we can actually provide them a super low cost way of providing finance. And because we have built-in KYC, then you can actually provide, let's say, loans to people that you know, right? So it's not like your over-collateralized loans that are available on the market. So that's the path to market. Competition, we're talking about vulnerable wallets, we're talking about non-compliant chains. We won't go through that because I think most people know what those are.
Thanks.
Our ask is we've raised 500K at the beginning of this year as at the 5 million cap. We're looking at the 1 million raise for an 8 million cap. And I guess that's it.
Excellent. Very interesting. Did you take inspiration from Substrate palettes of Polkadot?
What was that?
Very interesting. Did you take inspiration from Substrate palettes for Polkadot?
We were looking more at, when we started this project, we were self-funded starting last year. We looked at all the privacy chains. So we were looking at Monero, Zcash, Secret Networks. So those are the chains that we were looking at. And then we were trying to identify what makes them, or I guess how they work, and then what makes them special. And then we were identifying what a business actually needs. So we were looking at these things, and basically we've been working on this for a number of years,
Yes.
but we just started on this full time last year, and then with the early raise this year, it's kind of that's where we are now.
And on the other side, the compliance solutions overall are pretty interesting. However, are your current revenue generating clients, do they understand what we provide to them?
So we actually aren't revenue generating yet. We are actually still building the chain. So most of the work that I was doing last year was proving that we could do this, because we're combining technologies like confidential computing. We're also using Peterson commitments and zero knowledge proofs. So we're doing a lot of that stuff. So before we actually tried to raise money last year, I wanted to make sure that we could actually do this stuff, right? So we're kind of more. We've gone past the POC, so we're at that stage now.
Excellent. I would recommend you to patent the decentralized custody as well as the expectation of receival.
Correct. So actually, we are about to file a patent. So we have
Excellent.
a 28-page thing that we're actually looking at very closely, because we actually have one major patent that we're doing, which is trying to dissociate the different wallets from each other, because that's how we actually allow someone to find a person by a phone number and an email address, but not let people see what those guys are actually doing. So we have that patent, and then we have all the other stuff that you just mentioned. So there's like 4 more on the way.
I see telco companies being your large client, so excellent job.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next.